So for our customers that own a Viper XT and a Raptor XT, this is the plate configuration that comes with their machines. And you'll notice that there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions to put on our plug and go tooling on the plate. And we've done this so that we can have 2 tools, 3 tools, or 4 tools on the same plate. Now if you'll notice, these configuration here are clustered together. And the pins, if we use that as our horizontal medium, then this is the 12 o'clock position. And all we do is take the plug and go tooling and put it in as easy as that. So I'm going to set it up for 2 position. So 6 o'clock, 12 o'clock. If we want to go to a 3 position, then we're going to go, to make a tripod effect, we'll go 6 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock. If we want to do a 4 position, we can just remove the tools, and of course they're magnetic. There's the 4 position. 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock. Now, when the machine comes, on the back, you'll find a yellow foam pad that we use to soften and give a little bit more flexibility to the tooling so that you get a smoother cut. If you want to go into rigid mode on the machine, you would remove this. And I'll show you here. We have the grommets. So those 2 grommets are where the pins go into. These are the bumpers. So to give it a soft mode, we leave the foam on. And this allows for more flex. If we want to go into rigid mode, we just remove the foam adapter, put it on, and now you're in rigid mode. This is an excellent position if you're trying to flatten the floor, if you're working on terrazzo, if you're working on stone, and if you're working on hardwood. Many times though, we find that even though we're trying to flatten the floor, that the foam gives just enough absorption to make it work a little quicker. Now, if we've been grinding with the machine and we're ready to change tooling, you'll notice that on the machine it will have picked up dust and dirt and filings from the tools themselves. So before we put the next set of toolings on this machine, we're going to vacuum and make sure that we remove all the latent dust and filings so that when we put the tooling on, the plug and go tooling on, it sits flush on the machine. So I'm just going to go ahead and grab a vacuum. So we want to make sure that we get this type of filings and dust and dirt off. Otherwise, if we put the tooling on, it'll sit at an angle and it'll create worse tool marks. Many of our customers will ask, do I need to put weight on the machine? Well, it's not necessary to put weight on. Point pressure is determined by the amount of segments that you have on your machine. So if we want to increase the point pressure in terms of removing coatings, we would then possibly look at going with only 2 segments. If we want to polish the floor, and we're looking at polishing the floor, we don't want to leave heavy tool marks on the floor. So it's usually preferable to go with 3 segments on the machine. Now, we've also discovered that on certain coatings, that the more tooling, in other words, reducing the point pressure but adding more diamonds underneath the machine, actually is more effective. So you need to kind of test the floor and test the effect of your choice of tooling and the position on the plates to get the optimum performance. So don't be locked into thinking you have to add weight and I can only go with 2 segments. test the floor out. Now the other thing that we do and we're finding is very effective is that we're mixing grits. So in other words, this is a 16 grit. We can also mix it with a 30-40. We've been doing 40 grit with 8100 grit segments. So it's giving a different cut on the floor depending on what the profile is you're looking for. Customers ask, what do you do when you get to the corner? Now you may have noticed that here I've used the machine, in this case the Raptor, but it doesn't matter whether it's the Raptor, the Titan, the Termite, whatever machine, we'll always leave a small area like this in the corner. Typically about 3/4 by 3/4 or so, depending on the wall in the corner and how it's designed. And we'll notice here, even on this concrete, it kind of falls away a little bit in the corner. So what we found is if you get yourself a recipient tool, this is a fine tool, there's other models out there that you can use, and you put a little bit of Velcro on it. They also have the adapters that will take our plates. And here what we're using is a plug and go segment that's Velcro backed that we'll just put here on it. Put it on so, like that, and then we'll just come into the corner. And you can see it's perfectly clean.